Hello everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today we're going to be taking a look at marked decks. Welcome back to another episode of Advice for Magicians, where the goal is to help you to take your magic to the next level. In today's video, I thought it would be a fun idea to talk about marked decks. Now, I started this series, Gaff Decks 101, not too long ago, where I love talking about some of the coolest gimmicked deck of cards on the market. Now, rather than focusing on a specific deck today, I thought it would be a cool idea to talk about marked decks in general, some of the benefits to using them for your magic, and even teach you guys an actual magic effect you can do using marked cards. So stick around to the end of the video. I'll be teaching you guys a really cool magic trick using marked decks. Now, before we do that, just a couple of announcements. If you have not already done so, make sure to click the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you will know every time I upload a new video. If you would like to support the channel for just $1 a month, all you have to do is click the join button and become a member. Members will get access to a bunch of cool stuff, including magic tutorials, early access to videos, and even discounts in the O'Brien Magic Shop. All you have to do is just click the join button and become a member. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the newest members. Thank you guys so much to Bob Possible, Steve Griffin, and Magic by Michael. Thank you guys so much for joining the channel. It's because of you, it's because of all of my members and all of my subscribers that I'm able to keep this channel going. Again, thank you so much. So, let's talk about marked decks. Now, for those of you who don't know what a marked deck is, it essentially means, in its most basic form, a deck of cards where the magician or the gambler, or whoever is using the cards, is able to tell exactly which card they are looking at by looking at the back, or in some cases, even the sides of the deck, right? So the most basic way to mark a card is to do, like, maybe put a little scratch or draw like a tiny little symbol on the back of a card that tells you which card you're looking at. Some cards might be marked by using like the little designs on the back of the cards. A really easy way to mark a deck of cards is by taking like a little Sharpie marker and marking out different patterns on the deck. If you look at the back of like a bicycle rider back, for example, you'll notice that there are like little look like flowers or like a little clock. You can actually mark those by filling them in with a Sharpie marker, and you can come up with any marking system that you want for them. One of the first deck of cards that I ever received that uses this system was the DeLon's automatic deck, which uses, like I said, the flower patterns on the backs of the cards to actually be able to tell you which card it is that you're looking at. So for example, in the top right corner, there might be like a little plus symbol with little dots, on the north, south, east, and west. And if the dot is pointing up, maybe it is a heart. If it's pointing down, maybe it's a spade. And if it's pointing left or right, it's a heart or a club or a diamond, right? So there are different ways to use these marking systems. Now, what I have noticed is that using these kinds of clock systems can be very difficult to learn at first. Now, of course, if you practice, just like with anything, you'll get very good at it very quickly. But one of my personal favorite styles of marking systems is something called a reader. Now, a reader is a type of mark that literally has a number and a picture associated with the card. So if you were thinking of the 3 of diamonds, you will see a number 3 and an actual picture of a diamond on there. Different types of decks, like Penguin Magic has a really good reader system built into the backs of their marked decks. If you're looking for a really affordable marked deck of cards, I recommend checking out penguinmagic.com. They have some really cool marked decks, and I'm pretty sure they're like between $5 and $10 a deck. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly how much they are, but it's a really good marked deck of cards, right? Another great option is HoudiniMagic.com has a really good marked deck that's actually a marked, stacked, and stripped deck of cards. That's the one that I sell at the Houdini Magic Shop at Disneyland. It's called the Gambler's Deck, and again, it uses a reader system that was developed by Boris Wilde. Boris Wilde also has his own marking system that you can use with any deck of cards, so you can actually hide the readers. It comes with like a little book of readers that you can hide onto the back of any back design So make sure you guys check that out too if you're interested in using readers. Another option that a lot of people don't know about is something called juiced cards. Now this is kind of a vague term. It could mean a bunch of different things, but what you guys need to know about juiced cards for now is the actual marking systems are built into the actual card itself. Like the ink is printed into the card, and just by looking at the card you won't be able to see it. You will have to either relax your eyes, or sometimes people will wear special types of glasses or something like that to be able to actually see the markings that are on the cards themselves. So a lot of really cool designs. Some decks of cards even have markings on the side of the deck. Like I know the butterfly decks do this. I know that there are other types of decks that do this. You can actually look on the side of the deck and you're able to tell what card you're looking at. So you, like if you're looking for the Ace of Spades, for example, you just look at the side of the deck and you can actually cut right to the card that you want to. So there is a lot of benefits to using marked cards, right? If anything, the easiest thing that you could use marked cards for is when you have a spectator pick a card, you just say, you know, so you have the deck of cards here. You spread through a card and you say, go ahead and take out any card that you want. So let's just say that they take this one there. You would look at the marking on the back as they take the card out, and you would be able to tell them like, okay, you're thinking of a black card, like a spade. I think you're thinking of the 4 of spades, right? Or what you can do is you can use this to your advantage. So you already know which card they chose now. Maybe you have them put the card back into the deck, right? Hand them the cards, have them shuffle it as much as they want to, right? Because you know how sometimes spectators are always like, let me shuffle the cards, right? So you can hand them the deck and you can have them shuffle the cards. Now you're going to go through and you're just going to show them, you're going to say, your card is somewhere in the middle. I'm not quite sure where it is. While you're doing this, you're going to spot their card, and then you can just, you know, sneak it to the top of the deck using your favorite method, whether you call the cards or maybe you want to use like a pass, right? So I know that maybe the Jack of Diamonds was the card that they chose. So maybe I'll go through like this and I'll show them that their card is somewhere in the middle. And then as I go to square up the cards, maybe I can do like a turnover pass or something. Whoop. I missed it though. Let me do that again for reals. Let's just say the 7 of Diamonds was the card that they chose, right? You can go through, you can show all of the cards again, just like this. And then when you go through, you can square up the deck, do a turnover pass, and control their card to the top, for example, right? So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with it. Now, I promised you guys a magic effect that you could perform using marked cards. And the magic effect goes something like this. You know, I've been doing magic all day today, and I think that it would be a really good idea for me to take a break. Rather than me showing you guys a really cool card trick, I thought it would be fun for you to show us a card trick, and I am going to go ahead and kick back, and I'm going to be the spectator for this one, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the deck of cards, I'm going to look at a card and memorize it, and okay, cool, I got one. I'll mix them up so that you're not sure where the card is that I'm thinking of, and I'm not even sure where the card is that I'm thinking of. And then you take the deck, you spread it out on the table, and you instruct the spectator. You say, okay, so you're the magician, right? It is your job to wave your hand over the tops of the cards. Sense where you think the card is that I'm merely thinking of. When you think that you found it, I want you to point your finger on that card, slide it out from the rest of the cards, and keep it face down. Let me know when you've done that, right? So the spectator does that. And now you square up the rest of the cards and you say, the card that I was thinking of was the King of Clubs. Now, if we look through the deck, we shouldn't be able to find a King of Clubs anywhere. As you can see, the King of Clubs is missing because the only card that you left face down on the table happens to be my King of Clubs, right? So the way that this works is super duper simple. I'm going to go through the cards and I'm going to look at the faces of the cards, and I'm going to tell the spectator, I'm going to memorize one of these cards. Okay, I got one. In reality, you're not going to memorize anything. You're just going to look at the cards and you're going to pretend to memorize one. You can shuffle up the deck. You can hand the deck to the spectator. They can mix it. It doesn't matter. You're not even really thinking of a card at this point. You then spread the cards out on the table like you do like a little ribbon spread on the table. And then you tell the spectator, I want you to wave your hand over the deck. I want you to sense my energy or something, right? You can make up something like this and then tell them to put their finger on one card and slide it forward. And at that point, when they do that, all you're going to do is look down at the card and read the markings on the back of the card. So now you already know which card it was that they slid out. So now you're going to memorize that card, and that is going to be the card that you pretended to memorize at the beginning. You square up the rest of the deck and you keep the card face down for dramatic effect, and you say the card that I was thinking of was, and you just name the card that's face down on the table. You spread through, you show that it's not anywhere in the deck, and then you let them pick it up, reveal it to their friends, and it's the card that you were quote unquote thinking of from the beginning. In reality, all you have to do is just read the marking on the back of the cards. So a lot of really cool stuff. I recommend you guys check out grabbing a marked deck of cards. Again, penguinmagic.com, they have a really beautiful marked deck. This isn't it. I actually don't own one anymore. I used to use one a long time ago. Really great deck of cards. It uses reader backs, so all you have to do is just look at the card, and just by glancing at it like this, you can tell instantly which card it is, right? So I can look at the back and I can go, okay, that's the 6 of clubs. I can look at the back of this one, that's the 6 of spades. I can look at the back of this one, that's the 9 of clubs, right? So it's that quick. It really is that quick. It's super easy to use. Now, if you want to use a stripper deck, now stay tuned for another episode of Advice for Magicians, where we talk about more Gaff deck stuff. I am going to do a stripper deck, or a tapered deck, or a cut deck, or however you want to call it, later on in another episode. I'll talk about that. But Houdini.com, I will leave a link in the description below for that as well, so you guys can check that out, because Houdini uses a really cool marked deck as well, the Gambler's deck that uses the Boris Wilde reader system. I will also try to see if I can track down the Boris Wilde readers for you guys that you can put into any deck, if I'm able to find those. A bunch of really cool stuff that you can do with marked cards. I hope you guys enjoyed this. My final thoughts for this episode, because I want to try my best to do a final thought at the end of every video, something for you guys to consider. Leave a comment in the comment section below letting me know what your favorite marked deck is, or your favorite marked deck style is, or your favorite thing to do using marked cards. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, make sure to click the subscribe button, and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you'll know every time I upload a new video. If you'd like to check out some more magic, visit us at obrienmagic.com, and be sure to check out our online magic shop, where you will find the latest and greatest magic books, downloads, and accessories.